In today's video we're going to look at an interpretation of the game Flame. So in this interpretation we've got the word flames, and we take our two names. So if I say Barry and Joy, we compare the two words and we look for commonalities. So that one and that one come out, and it left us with Bar and Joe. So we count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we count down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So so Barry and Joy are enemies. So that's the interpretation of the game we're going to try to develop. Okay, so let's have a look at my interpretation of it. So here you can see I've just declared some variables, something to track the flame later, arbitrary counter. Here's my array for flames, so I've used flames rather than flames, so friends, lovers, affection, marriage, enemies and sweethearts. You can see it's an array, 6-element array, starting at 0, ending at 5. We've got our variable for our two people, and then a spare one for joint name where we're going to join the rest together. Take it in, set the flame track to 0, so it's starting off at first position, and then I call my match names functions, which is going to match the two names up. So if I look at my match names, you can see I'm using my usual to-upper function to make everything uppercase, and then what I do here is I loop through the first name, finding any matches. Where there isn't a match, I store that in the joint name. So in the case of Barry and Joy, the B isn't in either of them, so it would be joined. Once that's gone through the first name, just in case one of the names is longer than the other, I do exactly the same, but I go through the other name, writing in again. So if we just look through this slowly, and we'll step through it. So that first loop there deals with going from the first name to the second name, and an identical loop just the other way around deals with going from the second name to the first name, so back again, and we return the joined up name. Okay, so that will return back to main. Once I've got my value of my name, I get its size, and then I can loop through that many times. Now the reason I've got this setting back to 0 here is the idea is if it was say 7, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back to the top for 7. So we couldn't just pick it out of the array. We can't do that as a loop going through each time, and then we can output it. I'll just quickly show you my to-upper function that's on the YouTube channel. You can see that anytime. I'll have a quick run through or a step through the program. So let's just put in a break. Let's have a break here before we call the function. So I'll run it. Let's get some variables shown. Oops. I'll just put this to one side over here just to step through it. So enter my first name, so we've got Barry and Joy, and then we're going to step through the code. So we'll step through it, calls a function, you can see it initializing it and then making everything uppercase. Okay, so we've got our two uppercase, and then there's our first one. So we're going through each value. not seeing the values, but you can see the counter. This is the first word and the second word. So the first word, it's the B, and then the G and the JO. So that's those two. That's that first one gone through. And see, B was put in because it's unique. A was put in because it was unique. R was put in because it's unique. And now, the last one, there's the J and the O and returned. So returned the word Barjo. We've now got our counter. We know that it's now the length here. We're going to do it the length amount of times. So we're going to count up through it and then output the answer. So there you go. So quite a straightforward implementation of the old-fashioned flame game. If you find that useful, like and subscribe. Really useful. Buy us a coffee.